Now, the one thing that the Louisiana
Honey Island.
Bigfoot does not have to put up with is crocodiles. But I don't know how much relief that is because they do have alligators.
Yeah, so what's the difference? I mean, come on.
Yeah, well,
Are you saying crocodiles are a lot more dangerous and vicious than are alligators?
oh, you mean like the Texas Bigfoot? It's that type of thing?
Well,
No.
I don't know. I'm just saying you're making a point here that they don't have to put up with crocodiles.
Crocodiles get a lot bigger in Africa, Australia, and South America.
So they could take on Bigfoot much easier.
In the United States, they do have crocodiles in Florida, and that's because it's probably the most tropical jungle-like temperature, I guess, in the United States, wouldn't you think?
Yeah, I think you're right. It's a lot warmer and more tropical there for sure.
Hawaii, of course, but in the continental United States, if any crocodile actually comes this far north, it would freeze to death because when what's that called, the hard freeze?
Louisiana actually gets some days where there's freezing temperatures.
And the alligators go through some kind of hibernation process where they can handle it, but they
go into what they call suspended animation. Now, I don't know if that's related to that cryogenic freeze. You know, did they get that from the cryogenic freeze? Is that how they came up with that scientific method of actually taking your entire body, or maybe just your head, and freezing it, and then in 25 or 30 years they thaw you back out and bring you to life?
Well, they're not related at all, but it's the same general process where it's
suspended animation.
But it's not literally. I mean, I guess you can consider. I think their heartbeat is it was like 2 beats a minute or something like that.
Goes way down.
Yeah, they don't actually literally die.
And they don't die. They can handle it.
Crocodiles can't do that, and so if there was one in this area, it would, and come winter, it would die. Now they can make their way this far north, you know. I mean, theoretically, but if they do,
so Bigfoot could just crack the back of an alligator with no problem. But coming up against a croc might be a little bit more difficult.
Well, no, because I don't think that the crocodiles in Florida actually get any bigger than the alligators. They're pretty much the same. But the ones I could be wrong, but the ones in Africa, I mean, they would be a nightmare, and the ones in Australia, and even the ones in South America, because they're like 20-foot long crocs. I don't know, but I think some of them in the alligators get 14-foot.
I was recently in Mexico, and there were signs all over the place: "Beware of crocodiles."
And were you in a swampy area? Where were you?
I was in Cancun.
You saw, so that even in Cancun they had signs.
There was a lagoon side to Cancun, and they had signs posted.
Now, were there any crocodiles that made their way into the area where your hotel was?
No, I did not see that, but I did see posted signs: "Beware."
Yeah, and I can't tell what's going on in the background of this particular photo. We should talk about the next episode, but that looks almost like a vines and that's not like ruins or anything in the background. It could
ruins or maybe shelter, Bigfoot shelter.
Yeah,
what we're looking at.
It's obviously not ruins, but it just looks like that. It looks with all those winding vines.
Well, this isn't all that clear anyway.